Chapter 1. 1002. He had planned to absorb his ancestors' energy and become the world's most powerful cultivator, only for that plan to go up in flames because his ancestor was still alive. The loss was too much for him to take. That was why he had planned to kill this ancestor of his first, to take his power. It would seem that not everyone was able to remain calm in the face of such power. This man had been willing to kill his ancestor for this power. Goma was at a loss for words, but quickly understood his father's intentions and scrambled to hide in a corner. Just then, Rinchen was still half sitting in the stone coffin. He stared at the stone giant coming his way before throwing a punch. Fierce winds kicked up as a terrifying pressure filled the entire room, and as the giant was pushed back, its gigantic foot leaving a dozen deep holes in the ground. Just then, Rinchen finally stood up and took a step out of the stone coffin. His movement still seemed stiff, but the pressure coming off him was so strong, even sanctuary-level cultivators felt threatened by it. Goma and Ryder maximized their aura and spiritual energy at once, withstand the pressure. Wilbur gripped his thunder cleaver, staring intently at Rinchen. At the same time, Basan continued to mutter his chants, casting a number of supportive spells onto the stone giant. Rings of light appeared on multiple parts of the giant's body as it began to make its way toward Rinchen, one more in a wild sprint. Large holes appeared in the firm, solid ground from the impact. The giant's huge body, which seemed like a small mountain, charged at Rinchen. Even Ryder's chest lurched at the sight of the giant's terrifying body and its powerful strength. The stone giant let out a wild howl mid-pursuit, throwing another punch at Rinchen's face. Rinchen frowned, answering with a punch of his own that sent rippled through the air. There was a thunderous collision. The stone giant, in its new and improved form from Basan's spells, was reduced to dust by a single punch from Rinchen, settling onto the ground. Rampant spiritual energy kicked up a tornado in the living room, refusing to disperse for the longest time. Basan was at a loss for words. Was his ancestor really this powerful? It was then that he finally began to fear for his life. This was the kind of power beyond anything he could withstand. Goma was dumbfounded as well, staring at his ancestor in disbelief. Rinchen stared at his fists for a second before snapping his stiff neck over to stare at Basan. "You were trying to take my power from me. Please forgive me, honorable ancestor. Our tribe has said for the longest time that you have been waiting for a descendant to inherit your power." Basan stuttered in a trembling voice. Rinchen broke into a dull laugh. "I have been waiting for a descendant, but not so you can inherit my power." Basan was shocked. What's your intention, then?" "I need the blood of my descendants to bring me back to life. Do you understand?" Rinchen asked with a blank expression. Basan's expression turned into one of horror, staring at his ancestor in disbelief as he mumbled, "You lied to us. You just want out blood for your own revival." "That's right. I was faced with great frustrations when I found out that I was reaching the end of my lifespan. I found that terribly unfair as a powerful cultivator of my time, but I was lucky enough to chance upon this crystal sternum. It was not able to save my life, but it put me in a deep sleep to preserve what little life there was in me," Rinchen explained. Just then, Basan said, "So you left behind this false message for your descendants to take the bait and contribute to your rebirth?"